My dear friends, before we dive into this incredibly important conversation today, I want to ask for your help with something that would mean the world to me. If you find value in what we discuss here, if these insights resonate with you and help you understand attraction and human connection better, please consider subscribing to this channel and helping us reach 1,000 subscribers. Your support allows us to continue creating content that addresses the real questions and challenges that men face in understanding attraction and relationships. Every subscription tells us that this message matters and helps us reach more people who need to hear these truths. Now, let us talk about one of the most frequent hiccups we encounter as men when we think about how attraction works, which is expecting it to be very obvious. We often imagine a world where if a woman is interested in us, she will just come out and say it clearly. We picture her flirting openly or making the whole situation so clear that there is no way we could possibly miss it. But in the real world, the way we feel for each other rarely works in such a loud or direct way. In most cases, that quiet spark of desire does not announce itself with a megaphone. Instead, it shows up very softly through small changes in behavior, gentle gestures, and tiny shifts in how someone chooses to interact with you. These little signals are very easy to overlook, especially if you are not used to looking for them or if your mind is busy with other thoughts. Many men eventually look back at their past experiences and suddenly have a big realization that surprises them. A simple conversation that felt like nothing special at the time might have actually been full of moments where someone was trying to get closer to them. Looking back, they might realize that she was standing a little bit closer than was actually necessary for the conversation. They might remember that she kept her eyes on theirs for much longer than most people do. Or maybe they noticed that she found little reasons to keep the chat going, even when the original topic was totally finished and there was no real reason to stay. At that moment, those little things probably felt like total accidents or just random events, but when you think about them again with a fresh perspective, the pattern starts to become much clearer. Those small habits and behaviors were often the first quiet signals that a sense of curiosity or attraction had already started to bloom in her heart. There is a very simple and human reason why these signals are kept so subtle. For a lot of women, telling someone they like them in a direct way can feel very scary and vulnerable. If they share their feelings and find out the other person does not feel the same way, the whole situation can get very uncomfortable or embarrassing. Because of this risk, many women prefer to show their interest in ways that allow them to test the waters without putting their heart completely on the line. They are basically checking the mood of the room. They watch very closely to see how you respond to these small moments where they try to connect with you. They are paying a lot of attention to how you move your body, the warmth in your voice, and how confident you seem while you are talking together. If the interaction feels easy, safe, and comfortable, those little signals usually start to get a bit stronger and more frequent. But if your response feels a bit awkward, or if you seem totally unsure of what is happening, they might quietly pull back and stop sending those signals without ever saying a single word about it. This is exactly why so many wonderful chances for a real connection get missed. It is not because the man lacked charm or was not a great person, but simply because he did not see the quiet signals that were happening right in front of his eyes. When you start to understand these signals, it can totally change how you see every social interaction you have. Once you begin to pay attention to these small behaviors, you start to see moments that used to feel totally invisible to you. Your conversations will start to feel a lot more meaningful, and the signs that someone likes you will become much easier to spot. And once you can see them clearly, you are not just guessing or hoping anymore. You are simply responding to that quiet human language of connection that has been happening all around us since the beginning of time. To really get good at reading these signals, it helps to understand one big difference in how men and women often show they are interested. While men and women feel attraction in very similar ways deep down in their emotions, the way they show it to the world can look very different. Men are often taught to be very direct about their interest. When a man likes someone, he might give her a compliment, start a conversation on purpose, or show his interest through very clear and confident actions. His way of doing things usually moves straight forward because that is what society often expects from men. Women, however, tend to show attraction in a much more indirect way. Instead of coming right out and saying they are interested, they often work to create opportunities for a connection to happen naturally. They like to watch how the other person reacts before they decide to move closer in an emotional way. You can think of this as a different style of talking. Instead of a big announcement of interest, a woman might let the connection grow slowly, one small step at a time. She might start with just a friendly talk and then slowly show that she is curious about who you are as a person. These moments might seem tiny at first. She might laugh a little more than usual at your jokes, look into your eyes a bit longer, or show that she feels very relaxed through her body language. Each one of these signals is a way of checking the emotional temperature between the two of you. This whole process usually happens without her even thinking about it consciously. A woman might not even know she is doing these things. Her body and her actions are simply showing how her feelings of curiosity and attraction are starting to grow on the inside. Another big reason why this indirect way of communicating exists is to keep things emotionally safe. Showing your interest in someone can feel like a big risk. If the other person does not feel the same way, it can lead to a lot of embarrassment or feeling silly. By showing attraction in a subtle way, a woman can explore if there is a connection while still keeping her pride and her heart safe. If the other person responds in a nice and positive way, the connection between them naturally gets stronger. But if the response seems cold or distant, she can easily step back without feeling like she put herself in an embarrassing spot. This is why being aware of what is happening is so important when you are around others. A lot of men wait for attraction to show up in a big, obvious way, so they miss the quiet whispers that actually show someone is becoming interested in them. But when you understand this different style of talking without words, everything starts to make a lot more sense. You start to see those tiny changes in how someone acts that show they are feeling comfortable, curious, and open to you. These quiet signals are often the very beginning of a much deeper bond. They show that the conversation is moving past just being polite and is entering a space where a real attraction is starting to form quietly. Now that you understand why these signals are so soft, the next question is a big one. Why do people use hints and small gestures instead of just being honest? The answer is all about how we protect our feelings. When someone starts to feel attracted to someone else, there is always a bit of worry and uncertainty. Nobody likes to feel rejected or embarrassed, especially when other people are watching. Because of this, many people use these indirect signals to explore the situation. You can think of these signals like small tests. They let someone move a bit closer emotionally while staying in control of how much they reveal. If you respond well, the connection keeps growing. If you don't, it is easy for them to go back to being just friends without any awkward moments. This is a very common pattern in how humans act. People usually show their interest a little bit at a time rather than all at once. They might start by being extra curious, asking you questions about your life, or staying in a conversation much longer than they really need to. Over time, these small actions build up a feeling of being close and familiar. Attraction almost always grows through these small, steady steps. Every time you have a positive interaction, the worry and uncertainty start to go away. When someone feels comfortable, they start to relax. Their body language opens up, their voice gets warmer, and they focus all of their attention on you. This slow and steady process also creates something called emotional safety. Emotional safety is one of the most important things in any human relationship. When we feel safe, we are much more willing to show people who we really are and how we really feel. These quiet signals help build that safety instead of forcing things to happen too fast with big statements. They let the connection grow in a way that feels natural and easy. Both people can explore how they feel without any pressure. For example, someone might make a conversation last longer, ask a question that is a bit more personal, or share a little story about their life that they don't tell everyone. These might seem like normal things, but when you put them all together, they show a clear pattern. Once you see that pattern, it is much easier to know when attraction is in the room. Instead of waiting for a huge sign, you start to listen to the quiet language that happens during the talk. Those signals often tell you way more than words ever could. They show you exactly when curiosity has turned into a real interest and when a simple chat is turning into something much more special. To see these signals even better, it helps to understand how much our bodies talk for us. Words are only a small part of how we communicate. Experts who study the mind often say that most of what we say to each other happens without any words at all. Our body language shows our true feelings even when we aren't trying to show them. The way a person stands, which way they are facing, how often they look at you, and even what they do with their hands can tell you exactly how comfortable or interested they are. When attraction starts to grow, these body signals change in specific ways. For instance, someone who is interested in you will usually face you directly while you talk. Instead of looking around the room or turning their body away, they stay focused right on you. Looking into each other's eyes also becomes much more common. Instead of just quick looks, they might hold your gaze for a second or two longer than usual. These extra moments of eye contact create a feeling of being connected because they show that the person is totally focused on you and nothing else. Another thing to look for is posture. When someone is relaxed and likes being with you, their body looks open, their shoulders aren't tight, their arms aren't crossed like a shield, and they move in a way that feels natural and easy. These physical signs usually happen without the person even realizing it. The body just reacts to how good the interaction feels. When someone feels safe and curious about you, their body naturally shows that they are at peace. Facial expressions and smiles are also a huge part of the story. A real, honest smile usually involves more than just the mouth. You can see it in the eyes, they get softer, and the whole face looks warm and kind. These real expressions show that the person is actually having a good time and wants to keep the conversation going. The reason body language is so amazing is that it is very honest. While people can choose their words carefully, it is much harder to fake how your body reacts. Small natural reactions show our true emotions. This is why learning to watch body language can totally change how you understand people. Instead of just listening to what they say, you start to see how they act. These actions tell you if they are relaxed, curious, or really feeling a connection with you. When you see a few of these things happening at the same time, like open body language, long eye contact, and real smiles, it usually means the interaction is about more than just being friendly. It suggests that attraction is quietly growing just beneath the surface. One of the very first and most clear signs that attraction is building up often comes through physical touch. I don't mean anything big or dramatic, but rather those small, soft touches that seem to happen totally naturally while you are talking. These touches usually look very casual. A woman might lightly brush your arm while she is laughing at something funny you said. She might put her hand on your shoulder for a second while she is telling a story. Or she might give you a playful little nudge when you are joking around together. At first, these moments might seem like they don't mean anything. A lot of men think they are just being friendly, or that it's just a normal part of talking. And sometimes that is true, but when these touches happen over and over, especially when you are both laughing or feeling close, they can be a sign of something much deeper. The most important thing to look at is the intention. When someone feels attracted to you, their body naturally wants to be closer to yours. Touch is a way for the body to confirm that you are close and connected. This isn't always a planned move. Most of the time, it happens by instinct. A woman might not even decide to touch your arm. Instead, her body is just reacting to how happy and comfortable she feels being near you. Another detail is when the touch happens. These little gestures usually happen when the energy of the conversation is high and happy. When you are both enjoying the moment, a little touch feels like a natural way to share that good feeling. How long the touch lasts can also tell you a lot. A quick tap might just be part of the talk, but if the contact lasts just a tiny bit longer than it has to, it shows she is comfortable being close to you and doesn't feel like she needs to pull away. That feeling of comfort is a big deal. Touching someone requires a lot of trust. When someone lets that contact happen without being tense or nervous, it means they feel very safe around you. Of course, you always have to look at the whole situation. One single touch doesn't always mean attraction. Some people are just very touchy and friendly with everyone. That is why it is so important to look for a pattern instead of just one moment. When touch happens along with other things like deep conversation, lots of eye contact, and relaxed body language, it becomes a lot more meaningful. These small gestures show that the interaction has moved past just being polite and into a place where emotional curiosity and attraction are starting to grow. When you start to see physical contact happening, the most important thing to watch is not just the touch itself, but how relaxed and happy the person seems. Comfort is really the biggest signal of all. When a woman feels truly comfortable around you, her body language becomes very open and easy. She doesn't pull away if there is a brief touch, and she moves in a way that feels totally natural. The talk keeps flowing smoothly, as if the touch was a perfectly normal part of the day. This reaction tells you something very important. It means her mind and body don't feel any threat or worry. Instead, she feels safe and familiar with you. That feeling of safety is what allows the connection to keep growing without any awkwardness. Another thing to watch is how she acts after the touch happens. If she keeps talking, keeps looking at you, and keeps smiling and laughing, it means she is still feeling great. Her focus is still on the connection rather than on trying to move away. Sometimes seeing the opposite reaction tells you even more. If someone suddenly pulls back, crosses their arms, or changes the topic really fast, those are signs that they might be feeling a bit uncomfortable. The body naturally wants to put space between itself and anything that feels uncertain. This is why being aware of feelings is so helpful. Understanding attraction isn't about trying to make physical moments happen on purpose. Instead, it's about seeing how someone naturally reacts to being close to you. When the interaction feels easy and mutual, these small gestures become a part of the conversation instead of something separate from it. Being confident also helps a lot here. When a man stays calm and relaxed during these moments, it makes everything feel stable. He doesn't get nervous or start acting weird. Instead, he just stays present and enjoys the flow of the talk. This calm way of acting makes the whole thing feel even more natural. We often copy the energy of the person we are talking to. If you are relaxed and confident, the other person is more likely to feel that way too. Over time, these small moments of comfort build into something much stronger. The touch, the talk, and the shared focus all start to create a beautiful pattern of connection. What started as just being friendly can slowly turn into something very personal and special. Understanding these reactions helps you see if the closeness you feel is just casual or if it is a sign of a much deeper level of attraction. Another big signal that shows up when attraction is growing is eye contact. While touch shows comfort with being close, eye contact shows something even deeper. It shows where someone is putting their emotional attention. Where we look says so much about what we are thinking and feeling inside. In a normal, everyday talk, people look around a lot. They might look at things nearby, check their phone, or look away while they are listening. That's normal for a casual talk. But when attraction starts to happen, the way someone looks at you changes. A woman who is curious about you might start holding eye contact just a little bit longer than usual. Instead of looking away quickly, her gaze might stay on yours for a few extra seconds while you talk. This creates a very soft and special feeling of being connected. Looking right into someone's eyes makes both people feel much more present. When that look lasts just a bit longer than a normal social glance, it can create a quiet moment of excitement that shows she is interested. Another thing to notice is the rhythm of her gaze. Sometimes she might look right at you, then look away for a second before looking back again. This back and forth often shows a mix of curiosity and a little bit of shyness. These things usually happen without people even knowing they are doing them. Their eyes are just showing how much they are enjoying the moment. A smile often goes along with this kind of looking. When someone looks at you with a soft smile, it's a great sign that they are happy to be there with you. The mix of a real smile and steady eye contact builds a very strong emotional bridge between you. The reason eye contact is so powerful is that it creates a feeling of being close without even having to touch. Two people can feel a very strong bond just by focusing on each other. That shared focus makes the rest of the world feel like it's fading away for a little while. But just like with everything else, the situation matters. One single look doesn't mean everything, but when long eye contact happens over and over, along with relaxed body language and shared laughter, it becomes part of a clear story. That story shows that there is a real curiosity and emotional connection growing between the two of you. Eye contact has a very real effect on our brains and our hearts. When two people look at each other for a long time, the brain starts to focus entirely on the person in front of them. Distractions disappear, and the whole talk starts to feel much more personal. This is why those moments can feel so intense, even if you aren't saying a word. When a woman keeps her eyes on yours, it shows she is totally there with you in that moment. She isn't just being polite, she is really listening and connecting. In the study of the mind, this kind of interaction is linked to how we build closeness. Closeness doesn't always start with touching. Sometimes it starts with a silent understanding. Two people just sharing a moment of focus can create a feeling of being familiar and safe together. Eye contact also lets us read each other's feelings much better. You can see a small smile, a little movement of the eyebrow, or a relaxed look that tells you things words never could. This is why talks feel so much deeper when you look at each other. It shows respect and it shows that the other person really matters to you. Another cool thing about eye contact is how it builds a little bit of healthy tension. When you look at each other a bit longer than people expect, there is often a little pause in the talking. That pause is often where the first sparks of attraction really start to fly. The moment feels different from a normal chat. It feels more focused and more personal. Of course, you have to remember that everyone is different. Some people always look people in the eye. That is why watching for a pattern over time is so key. When you see that long eye contact happening with a relaxed posture and lots of laughter, you are seeing a bigger picture of someone who is truly interested in you. Understanding eye contact helps you see your conversations in a whole new way. You start to notice those quiet, silent moments where a real bond is being made. The third big signal of attraction is one that a lot of people don't even notice. It isn't about touching or looking. It's about how someone changes the environment around you. When a woman gets more and more interested in you, she might start trying to find ways for the two of you to be more private. This doesn't mean she wants to be totally alone right away. It usually shows up as small changes in where the conversation is happening. For example, if you are both at a big party with lots of people talking, she might suggest moving somewhere a little quieter so it's easier to hear. She might ask if you want to walk over to get a drink together or show you something on the other side of the room. At first, it just seems like moving from one spot to another, but deep down, it often means she wants to focus more on you. Busy places can make it hard to really connect because there is so much noise and so many people. When someone moves the conversation to a quieter spot on purpose, it's a chance for the connection to get deeper. It lets both of you focus on each other without being interrupted. Understanding these quiet signals changes how you feel whenever you are around other people. Instead of being unsure about what someone is thinking, you start to recognize the soft language of interest. Touch, eye contact, and finding private moments tell a story that words often can't. Once you learn to see these patterns, you will start to see chances for connection everywhere. And when you respond to those moments with a kind heart and a calm mind, the whole interaction can turn into something truly wonderful and new. Remember, if you found this helpful, please subscribe to our channel to help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Your support means everything and allows us to keep creating content that helps you understand the beautiful complexity of human attraction and connection. Leave a comment below sharing your experiences with these signals and how recognizing them has changed your interactions. Together, we can all learn to see and appreciate the quiet language of attraction that surrounds us every day.